Nissan Juke review. What is it? The Nissan Juke was a pioneer when it was launched in 2010. It packed the attitude and altitude of a crossover, and out there styling, all shrunk into a super mini's length span. It sold like crazy from the start to the end of its life. The new one has been on sale since 2019 and is different in very many ways, but the spirit is supposed to remain. What was the first Juke spirit? It was about style, and it was impractical without being sporty. A latter-day Ford Capri 1300. In the years after its arrival, most manufacturers launched small crossovers, and we lazily called them Juke rivals because the Juke had been about the first. But they weren't rivals because they weren't as useless. You could swing a cat in them. Not like the first Juke. Its driving position was hunched, its back seat cramped and dark, and its boot little more than a rear-mounted glove box. The new one is much bigger inside. Grown-ups can fit in the back. The boot is bigger, and you get to it via a decent-size hatch aperture. Promising. Is it still city-friendly? Nissan could have chosen to achieve this the lazy way, make the Juke much bigger and boxier. Like its so-called rivals. Trouble is that would have made it heavier and less city-friendly. Admirably, Nissan didn't. The increase in length is actually rather smaller than the 10 cm growth in wheelbase. So it's still short enough to be easily parked. And it's lighter. The dimensions of the second gen shove the wheels further to the corners, an effect boosted by their hugeness. The upper specs have 19s as standard. The designers love that, but from a dynamic point of view it's bogus. Have a look through the spokes. If you only need that little brake, you don't need this much tire. The design is modernized and takes advantage of the stronger stance, yet has lost none of the sheer chutzpah of the old one. The front still has those big round eyes, but their lighting function is no longer circular, rather a trefoil LED. A giant arrowhead is imprinted into the front door skin. The roof, contrast-toned if you choose, has a channel stamped down the center. Rear door handles are tucked behind the windows. The back number plate and badge live in a huge hexagonal plinth. Yet this craziness does somehow cohere. What's it got under the bonnet? Under it all, the Juke shares much with the Micra and Renault Clio, but is built in Sunderland. The only full combustion powertrain is a 3-cylinder petrol, the only driven wheels are the fronts. It's an essentially flippant car, so it doesn't bother with diesel or 4WD, there's no longer a GUI CVT, the auto option being a DCT. Nissan talks of better refinement, cabin quality and tech too. Let's see. I hear there's a hybrid now? Correct. It took until 2022 for Nissan to hybridize the Juke, but it's got a punchy target for 75% of the cars it sells across its whole range to be electrified in some way by 2023. Better hope this one's a success, then.